Shalom, when the start of souls by giving no praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kodash, double honors the apostle, great millstone, and honors you brothers doing the work of the Most High in truth and in sincerity. Yahweh's raw name, of whom the world ignorantly calls God, Jehovah, or Yahweh. His raw name is Yahweh. Son's true name is Yahweh Shai. And when we pray Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, meaning in, meaning the, and Sham, meaning names, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai. Real quick, this is on King Charles the third being diagnosed with cancer, right? So it says it is not prostate cancer, but was discovered during his recent treatment for an enlarged prostate, right? So basically, no relief, right? Because ultimately, the Most High ain't with the kings of these heathens, right? The Most High is just using them for His purpose, right? That's what let me see, Romans 9:17, right? For the scripture saith unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee, and that my name might be declared throughout all the earth. Because when you look at this Edomite, right, he is the basest of men, yet he has been, pushed to a high position. This is Daniel 4:17. Says this matters by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever He will, and setteth up over it the basest of men. Okay, so the Most High is the one in control over everything, and right now, who's in power? Esau, who is the basest of men. Okay, no one gets more basic than that. Yet the Lord hath, given him power over the whole earth. Is Ecclesiastes 10 and 7 says, I have seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth. Right. So that's what we see right now, right? That you got these basest of men, right, that are basically been given power over the earth, right? But it's all for the purpose of the Most High, right? The Most High ain't with them. In fact, even on that same point, right? Ezekiel 38, it says, it says, and the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him, right? And it's referring to Russia, right? But this is the point that I was just trying to touch on real quick against him, right? It says, and say, thus saith the Lord, behold, I'm against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, right? So even though the Lord is using the Russians to take out these, they will use the Russians to take out America, and then the conglomerate of nations with the Russians, but primarily the Russians, right? The Lord ain't with the Russians; they're just being used for His purpose, right? And it's the same with these different elites, right, of Esau, right? The Lord is just using them for His purpose, right? And then now, as you've been seeing over the last couple of years, right, they've been dying off, getting sick. Okay, they don't tell you what type of cancer it is, right? Because you get some cancers where it's like, meh, ain't that deep. And you get certain cancers, where it's like, yo, you're going to have to be on that, radiation, that chemo, right? And just be through, right? And just, once again, just be through, right? And it's the fact that there's like three of them, right? Because it also says, Prince William had also temporarily withdrawn from public engagements while he helped his wife Catherine, the Princess of Wales, as she recovered from, quote, abdominal surgery. So they're not even telling you, what it is that these people have. They're being very vague with it. Okay, so we'll be we'll be keeping an eye on it, right? Whether he drops dead anytime soon or not, that's to be seen, right? But the Lord is making an example, right? And one of the things that we also gotta see is, or rather keep an eye out on, is these elites now starting to speed things up, seeing so many of their people starting to fall ill, allegedly, at least allegedly fall ill and die and all of that, right, in a short space of time. So they're going to be wanting to speed things up. Revelation 12:12 says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. So Esau can see, whether it be the fact that the camps are popping up all over the world, right? He can see in the analytics, although you may not be able to see it on your vids or whatever. Esau's seeing that you're getting people watching these vids, right? He's seeing, when, or rather, he's eavesdropping when people are listening to the what do you call it, listening and talking about, oh yeah, I saw them guys, they're always in the park, or they're always in front of that spot, talking about that, that Bible stuff, all of that, right? Esau can see that people are paying attention, right? And therefore he knows he's gonna have to start, speeding up, and that means he's going to start, coming in hard. Now, what did the Spirit have Apostle Tahar name this, right? The hopeful year of Jacob's trouble, right? And we can, as things are moving, right? We can see that happening. Yahba Shim Shara Azar, right? But it's made me think of this account. So Second Maccabees 9 from the top, right? Another individual that was, used for the Most High's purpose, right? But ultimately, the Most High, it's like I got a sneezing coming, right? But ultimately, the Most High, smote him, right? Because once again, it was just for the purpose that the Most High had at that time, right? But the Most High weren't with these heathens, right? It says Second Maccabees 9 from the top. It says, and about that time Antiochus with dishonor. About that time came Antiochus, or Antiochus, however you say it, says with dishonor out of the country of Persia, for he had entered the city called Persepolis, and went about to rob the temple and to hold the city. Whereupon the multitude running to defend themselves with their weapons put them to flight. And so it happened that Antiochus, being put to flight of the inhabitants, returned with shame. Now when he came to Ecbatane, news was brought him what had happened unto Nicanor and Timotheus. Then, swollen with anger, he thought to avenge upon the Jews the disgrace done up unto him by those that made him flee. Right? So he wanted revenge. It was like, look, man, let me take it out, man. He wanted to get that anger out of him, right? So he, let's read. It says, therefore commanded he his chariotmen to drive without ceasing, right? To come basically to get, speed things up, right? Because he wanted to, come down with that great wrath, right? And to dispatch that the journey, right? The judgment of the Most High now following, for he had spoken proudly in his sword, right? And that he would come to Jerusalem and make it a common burying place of the Jews. So he was talking shit, right? You just put it like that. He was talking. He was giving it that good talk, right? He was speaking proudly. Now, before we carry on, I'm going to grab this another example of another Edomite, speaking proudly, right? Or in fact, in this one, let's read it. Acts 12 from 20 says, and Herod, was highly displeased with them of Tyre and Sidon. But they came with one accord to him, and having made Blastus the king's chamberlain their friend, desired peace, because their country was nourished by the king's country. And upon a set day Herod, arrayed in royal apparel, sat upon his throne, and made an oration unto him. And the people gave a shout, saying, it is the voice of a God, and not of a man. And immediately the angel of the Lord smote him, because he gave not God the glory, and he was eaten of worms, and gave up the ghost. Right? So another one where it's like, here it is, the Lord had set, Herod up, right? Yet his end was to be eaten up by worms, right? Similar to what we're about to read here of Antiochus, right? Because once again, all of these different people, they're just set up for the Most High's purpose, right? Right now, the Most High has this devil out there, right? As a stand-in for for the real powers that be, okay. Ultimately, the Most High is the one that put him in that position, right? Yeah, and if this illness is real, it's the Most High that's given him this illness. And the only reason I'll say it, because you know how these elites do, right? But yeah, more than likely it is, and there's the fact that you got three of them, right? Him, and then I always forget the other one, Fergie, right? The Princess Fergie, whatever her bloody name is, right? So you got three, so-called royals, right? Dealing with health issues all at the same time, right? So Second Maccabees 9:5 now says, but the Lord Almighty, the God of Israel, smote him with an incurable and invisible plague. For as soon as he had spoken these words, a pain of the bowels that was remediless came upon him, right, and sore torments of the inner parts, right, and what does it make you think? Abdominal surgery, right? So there's this chick, Catherine, She was having, pains in her bellies, all right. But that's it. In this instance, it was remediless. It was nothing, that could be done unto him, rather done to help him. Right? It says, and that most justly, for he had tormented other men's bowels with many and strange torments. Right? Howbeit he nothing at all ceased from his bragging, but still was filled with pride, bringing out fire in his rage against the Jews and commanding to haste the journey. Right? So here it is, it was catching hell, but it was still like, nah, let's speed things up. Right? We gotta get there, we gotta get there, we gotta get there. Right? And put wrath upon these Israelites. Okay, and even as I'm saying, it's thinking of the precept when it says, when he's about to fill his belly, right? Basically his endeavors are gonna be stopped, right? Because here it is, you had Antiochus, he had plans. He was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna destroy them. And the Moses was like, yeah, all right, watch this, right? Says, but it came to pass that he fell down from his chariot, carried violently, so that having a sore fall, right, all the members of his body were much pained, right? So, yes, he said, so Lord Yahweh got this devil, right? Says, and thus he that a little afore thought he might command the waves of the sea, right? So proud was he beyond the condition of man, right? And this is for us a proof that this is, the an Edomite that's talking here, okay? It says, and weigh the high mountains in the balance, was now cast on the ground and carried in an horse litter. Showing forth unto all the manifest power of the Most High. Right? And that's it, man. As we read also in Romans 9:17, right? How the Pharaoh was raised up for the for the just to show the power of the Most High. Once again, the Most High has used the base of men to take peace from earth, right? He is feared, right? He is feared on the world stage, right? Because if he wasn't, these other heathens, because these are China's got the bomb. These Ishmaelite and Elamite countries, they've got the bomb, right? Whether they admit, because I'm thinking Ishmael, I don't know if Saudi Arabia's ever officially said whether they've got the bomb. In fact, whilst I'm talking, right, countries with nuclear weapons, right? So it doesn't say, yeah. So it says 9 countries possess nuclear weapons: the United States, Russia, France, China, the UK, Pakistan, India, Israel, and North Korea. Right, so it doesn't have what would you call it, these Ishmaelites here, but that means at least the Moab has them, right? You know, the Elamites have them too, right? So you think if they got the power to try and take over, but one, it ain't for them to take over, right? Or rather to take down this Edomite, right? Because but ultimately the point is they feared this Edomite, right? Because with the bomb, that's how America got everyone into check, right? Let me put it like that. America got everyone into check by way of that atomic bomb, right? Yet you got Elam and Moab have also got the bomb, right? And yet they can't do anything about Esau, right? Because he's the one in power. He's the one that's taken peace from the earth, and ultimately the only one, that is scheduled, right, to take him out, right, is Yahweh Shem Shai, right? And then after he's done, the Israelites come into power. So we carry on verse 9. It says, so that worms rose up out of the body of this wicked man, and whilst he lived in sorrow and pain, his flesh fell away. So then the filthiness of his smell was noisome to all his army. Right, and there's a where I get my coffee in the morning. There's a homeless guy, and his smell, it's noisome. It is noisome to a point where, like, normally, you got the homeless man smell, homeless person smell, and then you can confirm it. But this one, oof, this one was something else, right? So I can only imagine, right, when you're getting the flesh falling away, right, rotting flesh, can only imagine what that was like. Okay, it says, and the man that thought a little afore he could reach the stars of heaven, no man could endure to carry his own intolerable sting. Right, so he himself could smell himself. Right, more time, that's the thing. More time, you can't smell yourself. All right, that's why you have to have some of your brother. You might may want to take a minute, son. you know. But would you call it? I'm joking, but like that's the thing. Most of the time, you can't smell yourself, right? Other people have to tell you, oh, X, Y, and Z. But this he got so bad that he was able to smell himself. It says here, therefore, being plain, he began to leave off his great pride, right, and come to knowledge of himself by the scourge of the Most High, his pain increasing every moment. But this is the thing, because these elites, ultimately, the Most High is gonna have them in their prides, such that they're gonna go into into their different bunkers. Let's grab that. I'm gonna go into their different bunkers and let's read it. It says Amos 9:2. It says, though they dig into hell, thence shall mine hand take them. Though they climb up to heaven, thence will I bring them down. So though they hide themselves on the top of Carmel, I will search and take them out thence. And though they be hid from my sight in the bottom of the sea, thence will I command the serpent, and he shall bite them. So the Lord is going to use he's going to put the spirit in these elites, right, that remain, right, that don't die off, right. He's going to put the spirit in them to go and hide in what do you call it? To go and hide in the different bunkers and space or wherever it is that they plan to hide, right. But that's so that they can be collected, right. Isaiah 49:8 says to bind their kings. Psalms 149:8 to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron, to execute upon them judgment written. This honor have all his saints. Praise ye Yahweh. Right. So the Lord is going to keep them proud. He's going to keep them proud so that we can take them, right. And, slap chains on them, right, and have them do some menial work. Right, so as always, Lord's what I was edifying. Until next time we say, Shalom.